So, marijuana, now legal in Connecticut, but there are some things you really should know. It's only legal for people 21 and older. And always, always secure your cannabis products like edibles, vape pens, dabs, and of course marijuana in a locking storage container and keep it out of sight and of reach of kids. Kids don't know the difference between a THC edible gummy and a candy gummy you might buy at a store. There's many resources available at grizzlepride.org or our Facebook and Instagram pages. And parents, you are your child's greatest influence. Talk early, talk often about the risks of substance use on their developing brains. Check out grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Did you hear that? Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilek in the morning and 80s all day and night.
Whatever you do, don't tell them you listen to internet radio.
Awful entertaining.
SNSN.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is 8:35. Mike and Rich and Jim Barney is here this morning.
Hey, good morning, all.
So, let's see. I guess we're having radio station tours this morning.
Awesome.
People
Live
are
broadcast.
filing through. You know,
Live broadcasting.
Yeah, sure. Come on in. Just come on in here. Let's have a conversation. Lots to talk about. So,
what's up?
What's going on? Jim, am I getting in the way of a personal call, or what's going on here?
No,
Checking
Mike.
the stocks.
It was actually a graph I was checking.
Oh.
Okay, that was my sleep pattern for the night before.
Oh,
Pretty poor.
I had
There's a lot of blue.
Well, the blue is good, but those orange ones, those were wait periods.
What was that?
my sleep has been awful lately because, like, my shoulder. You know, I've been complaining to you.
Yeah.
It's been waking me up in the middle of the flipping night.
Oh yeah, my back does this.
It's been awful.
Yeah.
It's been terrible.
Wow.
So,
You gotta get checked.
huh?
You gotta go get it checked.
Well, I have to, but you know, I gotta
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have to go today, but I'm going to do a game. So I can't. So now, because first, anyway, that's just a long story. But
Well, you know, we all have to make choices, Mike.
oh Jesus. Here we go. Lessons from Jim. Early in the morning. I'm not ready for that. Oh, all right. So we got a lot on the docket for today.
Yep.
You know, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the legalization of cannabis in the state of Connecticut, and also the possibility of being retailers, whether it's in Griswold, Lisbon, Canterbury, Valentine, wherever.
Yeah.
And the last year, the town started talking about it, but they put a 1-year moratorium on it, like most towns did. Not every town, but most towns put a moratorium for 1 year to gain more information. If you ask me, and this is just my personal opinion, I think the moratorium was about to find out how they can stop it.
Well, not in Griswold.
Not in Griswold, maybe not. Maybe so. Who knows? But I think there's, you know what? There's the old money and there's the new money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got two different, at least two very different schools of thought.
Mm-hmm.
My school of thought doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because
matters to you.
To me, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit
So
here
what else
and use it. I'm not going to sit here and blare it here.
Yeah.
However, that's I think that's one thing that they are looking at doing is, well, put it this way. Did anybody know there's a question on the referendum? I mean, the budget referendum about cannabis?
Well, it's been mentioned a bunch of times, but
That's not what I asked. Do you think anybody knows about it?
probably not.
Probably
There
not.
you go. That's that's the right answer right there.
Yeah.
And why?
Well, I would ask this: anybody even know there is a referendum?
Does anybody know when the date is for the referendum? You know, the budget, the thing that everybody complains about their taxes that going up. Oh my God, my house got reassessed. My taxes are going up. Do you even know when the damn referendum is?
Right.
No.
Yeah, was it the 21st? No, 22nd. No,
June 7th.
Huh?
June 7th.
June 7th. Okay, the town meeting is maybe December referendum, yeah.
And then people get mad when you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they get mad?
Because they don't know.
Because they didn't because nobody on Grizzle Now told them so. That's why. You know? And you know what?
Well, that's not even a good reason anymore.
No,
because
you
it's
know,
posted on there too.
I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, and this is something that's been a needle in my side for 10 years at least, is that when you have people that are saying, I don't know anything that's going on in town. There's no information. There's nobody puts anything out. That is the biggest line of crock that I've ever heard. It's nothing more than an excuse. And I'm sorry if that's you, but it is. It's true. And the second thing is, oh, you know what? And I hear this from every walk of life. Oh, well, we put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
What happens when you put it on Facebook?
Are you going to believe what you read on Facebook? Number one.
The bottom line is that if you're sitting around waiting for Facebook to give you your information that you need, you are going to be so uninformed. It's not even funny.
Well, I think that's part of the problem is people looking at Facebook as their media outlet, and in reality, it really just meant for your buddies to talk to you. That's
exactly, and that's what the algorithm is all about. It's about being social. It's not about being a news outlet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for example, when I was growing up, Jim, right? We didn't have remote controls for our TV.
Nope.
Nope.
You get up and walk
You had to get
over.
up. You had to get up off your dupa and walk over and change the channel.
Yep.
Right? You actually had to do that. So if I wanted to watch the Brady Bunch at 5:00 on WLVI channel 56 in Boston, what did I have to do? I had to get up. I had to go over and change the channel. I had to turn the rotor so it would go, and all of a sudden it would come in and everything would be great. And I could sit down and watch my show.
Yeah, see, you had TV while you were growing up. I didn't.
No, we'll see.
Yeah, radio.
Yeah, radio.
Well, you lived next to like Michael Landon on the prairie, didn't you? Or, I mean,
WWVA, Wheeling, West Virginia, on my crystal radio set.
Next to the moonshine pit.
Yeah.
But you know, it's talking about the business about not knowing. We've carried on the Capital Improvement Committee agenda from probably at least 5 years and maybe longer to buy a sign to put out here probably at the corner of 138 and Route 12. You know, basically right there between the library and the town.
Yep.
So we could have these messages going across there all the time.
That's what I was going to say. That's great.
Okay, it's a $25,000 charge. I mean, you know, we can spend tens of millions of dollars, but we can't take and spend $25,000.
You know what? Let's even go lesser than that.
Yeah.
You know where I get a lot of community information from once in a while? The Jewett City Savings Bank sign.
Okay.
That damn sign right there with scrolling and stuff like that with stuff that's on it. All the time. So you don't need a big old sign like they have in front of the Grizzle Fire Department or anything.
No, that's what we're talking
You
about.
know.
Is doing that.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah.
But I get more information by just looking at that thing.
Yeah. So I mean, your town meetings and your board meetings, all that stuff could all be scrolling there all the time. And if you're in, I mean, and not everybody drives through town every week either, you know. But at
So
least it's another form.
You're going to have multiple forms of communication. That's what it comes down to.
Right. But what I think really, things haven't changed, you know, as far as what you need to do to gather information, right? You want to read about something, what do? Either you pick up a book, you go to the library, you buy a book, you know, or you ask questions. None of that goes on anymore.
No, because they want to spoon fed to you.
Oh my God, how many times have I said that? You know, it's like go knock on the door. Hi, I'm Mike with your daily news update. Speak it to him. Go to the next door. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, I'm Mike with your daily news update. Rinse and repeat. You know, just keep going on and on and on.
It comes down to society has come down to give me 10 seconds of information in a summary, and I go on to the next thing. It's very short, very sweet. Just like your TikToks and your quick videos on Facebook.
Exactly. And I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying, if it's kind of like, if you don't get the information and you're doing one thing and you don't change that, well, then there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually, before Facebook, right? How many, you actually had to type in a website.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And say, I want to go, I want to find out about AARP or whatever, because now I'm 56.
Getting there, huh?
I actually got an offer in the mail for a 55 and over cell phone plan.
Take advantage of it.
Now it begins.
Take advantage of it.
No, I'm on it too much.
Everything I get from AARP goes immediately into the trash.
Ooh.
Okay? and there's a reason for that. And that is that they did not they did not support an insurance thing until they realized they could make a lot of money on it. And then all of a sudden they came on board. There is another outfit out there that is it's a much smaller outfit, but it's probably a much more honest outfit than AARP. I don't recall the name of it now.
You know where I won't shop? And I know we're getting way off topic here, but Goodwill. Because if you go to Goodwill, their CEOs are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, where it's supposed to be benefiting different organizations, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think United Way I think the offices in United Way are relatively lowly. Is it that one or is it?
Savers? There's Savers, which is the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, United Way. We used to be solicited at work for it. We used to write, no, thank you, throw it in the garbage, because their CEO is making 3 times what a lot of other CEOs are making.
Not United Way. It's another one. Salvation Army, maybe?
Salvation Army is 100% nonprofit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What
about Restore?
I don't know anything about that.
That's Habitat for Humanity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're really going down a different rabbit hole. But as far as information is concerned, I know, and you've got your book opened up.
It goes to the same aspect of this a little bit.
Right. Right. That's what I was trying to lead up to. So I have a hard time because there was a comment. This will kind of set me off. There was a comment on one of the threads that I put up on SNSN News, and somebody said, it's too late. People don't. There's not enough transparency. There's not enough this. There's not enough that. I don't agree at all. I think the information is there. You just don't look for it. You just don't. And even then, I pluck it out and post it.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're talking transparency, we're talking about transparency budget-wise or
anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I think people can misconstrue transparency with communication.
Right.
Transparency means it's the honest truth is not being put out there, or it is being put out there, or they're trying to hide it.
Well, okay, so
communication.
And I don't think they are.
No, communication is they're actually putting all the information out there.
So up until recently, really, what was going on is that there was a legal notice. They have to put it, or they have to put it like in the paper, or that was like a state statute. But then it was like, or do we have to put it in the paper, or do we just have to put it somewhere else or wherever? So for years, they're spending money and money and money on the Norwich Bulletin. Well, nobody buys the flipping Norwich Bulletin anymore. If they do anything, they go online. And you know what? Those notices, I don't think they're online. And even if you can't see them there, you got to pay for the online version. So whatever. But the bottom line is they're putting it out there. So what's town supposed to do? Town sends me stuff all the time. If you're not showing up to the party, you can't have fun.
Okay. I got no response to that.
If you don't plant the vegetables, you ain't getting no radishes.
You're right.
If you're not looking for the information, you're not going to be informed.
Well, I got a question for you. Maybe because I haven't really looked yet. And that is, this is still about information. I mean, the town of Griswold in the past has had a pretty lousy website. Okay, it's been revamped. Is it much better now? I really haven't.
The calendar is not.
The calendar is a nice feature that they have on there. Yes, but you know what, Jim? To be honest with you, I would go to grizzle-ct.org. You go over to the left sidebar, agendas and minutes. Click it.
Yeah.
I don't know why people were complaining, because it was right there. And then it would give you, matter of fact, I like it better I like that better, and I'll tell you why. Because they had the top section where they had all of the new meetings, and the bottom section where they had the minutes. Now, well, it's okay now because the calendar function is cool because you can look at the calendar, see what meetings are where. But the other way was just it was right in front of you too, and all you do is click on it. So I don't understand why people had a hard time with.
Well, I have a theory.
Go ahead.
And I think it's because they're all used to Facebook and media where it pops up right in front of you instead of having to think about it and go and research it and look on the menu. I think you're and that's kind of like me mocking, knocking on someone's door. Hi, I'm Mike with your daily update. It's like popping up in front of them. It's like I've had the same problem with the classes that I do. I send everybody emails. And Kathy kept saying, well, you can't send them emails. No one uses email anymore. I'm like, well, my job, if you don't use your email, no one cares because you get in trouble if you don't get the email, you don't look at it. And I kept telling them in classes, you got to check your email. You got to check your email. You got to look at it. And then, you know what? I said, screw it. And I went and got a texting, like you have for your news flashes. To send
I got rid of that.
Did you?
I got rid of it. You want to know why?
Why?
Because nobody signed up for it. It was and this is another thing that what I did. I started a texting service. Literally nobody, like maybe 30 people signed up.
It goes back to what we've just been talking about. It. Nobody knows. I didn't know you had this.
Okay. Sorry. But
I know.
But I talked about it all the time. You know what I mean? And I did. No offense, but I put it out there a long time. But you do know about our email newsletter because you said it just comes up on your screen and there it is.
Again, different.
So there you go.
Platforms.
Exactly. So I was using both. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, okay, look, you guys are complaining about this or you want more information. Well, here it is. But if you're not doing anything to get it, you can't complain. It's kind of like, oh, I'm so tired of my taxes going up, but you never go to a town meeting, you never go to a board of selectmen meeting, and you never speak up.
73% increase in one of my assessments.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
wow. Well, maybe we should change the subject here.
Wow.
So, all right, let's get into a couple of comments because here I am just rambling like a sick puppy. Scott Fryer. Good morning, Scott. Facebook gives you no information. People never actually read anything or do any kind of research. Spot on.
Absolutely agree.
They just like to give tired, uninformed opinions based on clickbait headlines.
Right.
Yep.
That's 100% right there. Even more. That's 100. That's extra credit, Scott, right there. That's 125%.
You go to the head of the class.
Yeah. That's it. Take off the dunce cap. You win. You win the internet today. Victoria says our town, she lives in a different town than us, is having a cannabis question 2. If it passes, then P&Z has to come up with regulations to cover it. Wow, look what Rich has here today. So you know what? You are see, there you go. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Well, there's Kathy. Oh, this is the one that was fangirling on my TikTok last night. Yeah.
She should be driving to Boston, not texting.
Hey, I can't help you. Can ARPA funds be used to finance a town sign?
I don't see why not.
That is not a bad idea.
It's actually
at all.
the main focus of ARPA funds.
Yeah.
Well, I think from what I've heard, I've not been involved in it, but I've heard it's pretty restrictive what you can do with certain funds.
Yeah, but this one's not.
ARPA was from COVID relief, which is earmarked for.
It's actually kind of that.
That's the function.
Broad. It's actually letting the towns do what they want to do.
But the ARPA funds was actually the main function is to provide the information from the COVID and everything too.
So my suggestion to that question right there is to go to a borough meeting, you know, and talk to the board of warden and burgesses there because the borough is the one that got.
Well, the town got our money too.
Oh, see, I wasn't aware that the town got it. I know what the borough got.
Yeah,
I think the town got and gave the borough some. Right? Is that what happened?
I know. I think.
Oh, no, no.
I think it was totally
Yeah,
independent.
yeah, they got their own.
Did they?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I don't remember the numbers. I've heard them. I think the borough got a little bit less than $1 million in ARPA funds, and the town got,
Is it 2.5?
I don't know. It was $1.5 million or 2.5. I don't know what the number was. The town.
It's enough to pay for a sign.
Victoria says
Pay for a
people
sign.
are too lazy to look for information. They would rather bitch on Facebook. That is unfortunately true. Daryl from the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City. I always plug Daryl. They could put your info on their website to get more info. And he says, "Oh, this is actually the first comment. I'm reading them out of order. It would be nice to have the town use you or us as the official news source. They could use your services to get the text, emails, whatnot out." Yeah.
That's why if I were you, I can keep using the text.
But if you don't come to the party, you can't have fun. Good morning, Court. Please read the question completely, as yes means no for the retail cannabis question.
Exactly.
So it is tricky.
Yeah, and
It is tricky.
They do that many times. I think they do that deliberately to confuse you.
We read that question at the meeting, and it's actually pretty straightforward. But if you're not paying attention to what you're reading, that's where you run into the problem.
And how many of us kind of only glance at things?
Well, that's the problem. You got to actually read the question. It's kind of like taking a test.
Yeah.
Read the question.
You know what I get a kick out of when it comes to Facebook? Is that you put something out there, good, solid town information that's useful. People say, I didn't see it. But you wish them happy birthday on Facebook, and every one of them gets a thank you within 10 minutes.
Well, I think part of that isn't that the algorithm. It's not depressing or upsetting, so Facebook isn't going to press the post, right?
Well, and you got a really valid point there. I mean, what draws the attention?
No.
You know?
No, you're incorrect with that. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're posting on somebody's timeline, that person is going to get that notification.
Well, you want to say happy birthday. That's what you say, happy birthday to them specifically. They're going to get it. But if you just do a post on SNSN. That's what I'm saying. The algorithm
We're
doesn't.
talking about generalizations.
Yeah.
Right. Your specifics.
Yeah.
Again, it's a communication problem.
Yeah.
Which we have a hell of a time with.
Mm-hmm.
Scott says, hopefully if we get an electronic info sign, they'll actually update it frequently. I don't want to be reading stuff about snowflake parade into June. And matter of fact, like right now, the information on the regular board in front of the library is incorrect. It's about a past event.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's that.
The library responsible for that one specifically?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
But that brings me back to an earlier part of the conversation, and when we're talking about the town posting things, someplace I see that Evelyn is still listed as the assessor.
Mm.
And I'm not blaming anybody, but
I can tell you
stuff needs to be kept updated.
I could tell you things too that I've seen, within other organizations in town. It's like, and there was one that I alerted somebody of, and it's like, they weren't aware of it. I mean, yes, things get forgotten. That happens. I understand that. But it happens all the time.
I think one of the other issues are a lot of the people that do these jobs in town, this isn't their full-time job.
Absolutely.
This is their volunteer part-time gig, or where they're trying to help out. And
but I mean, I would suspect that keeping the town website up to snuff
should be a priority.
Is a job that is assigned to someone in the town.
I think it is. But that person isn't that person out right now? Who does the website? They're not even working right now, right? They're coming back soon.
You're talking about the administrative assistant, Lisa. She's coming back soon. What's today? I think in a couple of weeks.
But should that even be her job?
I don't know.
I
don't know if that's in her job description.
I mean,
Do they have a job description? Another question.
I don't know.
and it seems like another thing that she has to deal with is she gets all the random phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
This is the administrative assistant to the select person. I mean,
Should be only a select person's office.
well,
You would
I'm not sure all that stuff should fall in her lap.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Kevin Cunningham, the first selectman in Plainfield,
Oh.
a frequent visitor here to the page, says Plainfield, we give as much information to the public prior to the meetings. We advertise in the Norwich Bulletin, not SNSN. Turnpike Buyer and Nixle for phone connection, not SNSN. Town website, town Facebook page, and we put out signs that are not on SNSN. The residents can even see meetings on Plainfield, Connecticut, Watchdog Media, not SNSN.
Wow.
When's the last time they had you on their show? Never. We're looking into lighted signs for the police department to share meeting information. Always open to more ways. Always open to more ways to share information about the town. Well, there's this little radio station called SNSN that has all the information usually that we like to put out there.
I hope
Little first selectman bashing there.
I hope you
Sorry,
and
Kevin.
Norma are kind of just teasing each other here.
Yeah, I am teasing. He knows. Kevin would know if I was serious, and I would know because I've seen him get serious with me, and so, but he knows. He goes, we would even use SNSN if we could get a deal.
There's a plug.
Well, why don't you call me back, Kevin, like you said you were going to last week? Call me. Sorry, Brian Lanou hasn't called me back either. But he put up a lovely picture of him and his mom for Mother's Day, though.
Well,
That was
that's
nice.
nice.
That was a nice
lovely.
picture.
It was a
Yeah.
nice picture, yeah.
If you get people not calling you back, Mike, maybe you need to do a
Call 'em
little
again?
self-examination.
Kevin, you are exposing me. Mr. Cunningham, you are exposing me. Oh, God. I'm a big fan of Kevin Cunningham. Bar none. Patricia, good morning, Patricia. She says, rarely do people pick up the Turnpike Buyer.
What's that?
There you go. It's not anything that comes to Grizzled or Jewett City.
Okay.
It goes to, well, there's the Plainfield area, which gets the Turnpike Buyer.
Okay.
And then above, like Dayville, they get the Shopper's Guide. It's from the same company in Putnam.
Okay.
And it's just a weekly mailer, of all ads. It's been going out for years.
Oh, that's the thing I throw in the garbage.
No, you don't get it.
No, not at all.
No, we don't get it here at all.
Okay.
But
There's one that comes that I
Yeah,
just
we get
throw in the
something.
garbage. Yeah.
The Norwich something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's put up at the New London Day.
No wonder I throw it away. Okay.
So, and they don't really do anything
I
up here.
I
So,
wouldn't read anything
but
in the
it's-
London Day anyway because it's never right.
Yeah.
So I know that personally.
Kevin says he'll call after you have breakfast.
Or you
See,
can
he knows our
or
schedule.
come down and have a meeting with
Or you
us.
could come down and have breakfast with us.
Right, have a
Kevin.
meeting.
Let's see, Victoria. Victoria says I'll bring it up to my selectmen.
There you go.
Daryl, the Turnpike Buyer makes good fire starter for the wood stove.
Right.
But just to give you an idea about business, the Turnpike Buyer back in the day would be 120 to 140 pages every single week. Turnpike Buyer and the Shopper's Guide.
Wow.
Now I think it's 30 pages, 40 pages. So I've seen a copy and it's like but look at the Norwich Bulletin.
Yeah, look at the papers.
Norwich Bulletin
Yeah.
used to have 5 sections on a Tuesday.
Now they get 5 pages.
And you could read it.
Yeah.
And you could actually read it and get news.
Right.
Now it's nothing but
I
ads.
got into a hell of an argument with Norwich Bulletin and I just have nothing to do with them now.
Kevin goes, the Turnpike Buyer is free. No, it's not. Unlike my visits to SNSN where I have to bring donuts.
Well, is the Turnpike Buyer one of those the companies have to put the ads in and the public gets it free? That's what he probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right about the Norwich Bulletin, and it's really not even their fault. I mean, it was just the way that technology has evolved.
Electronic news took over. That's
and they're unfortunately going to be a casualty of the system
unless they
My complaint with them, I subscribed for a year. I mean, we subscribed to it for a long time. I subscribed for a year, and the year before, I said, Jesus, we're due for a resubscription already. All right, so we did it. The second time, I called them on it. What I found out was we only got 9 months because we were getting something that was pertinent to Norwich. What the hell do I care about Norwich?
Yeah.
So I tried to get all the way to the CEO, and I got all the way up except to her. Couldn't get to her.
You look in the boxes that sell the Norwich Bulletins.
They still have boxes?
There's a couple here and there.
Really? I haven't seen it.
And they're always full.
They old downtown or something?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, there are a couple of people that will stay with the paper because that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And that's me.
My mother's one of them too. Yeah.
I mean, I certainly use the internet every day of my life, but I like paper. I mean, if there's an interesting article, I print it out.
Yeah,
I always found it useful. It was great. You put under the dog and there's something to squat on.
There you go. But not only that,
his wife makes him put it on under the sheets when
That's
he's
it.
sleeping.
Yeah.
You are getting older.
That's true. Yeah, my doctor asked me if I have incontinence. So I knew that was a problem right off the bat.
Hey, it's coming.
Do you have incontinence? I don't know. Europe, Asia, Australia. I've never been in those incontinence.
He knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Some days I'm just not sharp. Some days I can really kind of zip it up a little bit.
Should have it zipped up all the time. That's it.
I don't. That's my problem.
That's why you're getting kicked out of the restaurants.
I know. I wish they'd let me back. You know? Victoria says Turnpike Bar used to be the thing, and she's absolutely right. That is correct. Everyone would be waiting on Wednesday for it to come out in Danielson and Brooklyn to come out on Tuesday.
And clip the coupons?
No. I mean, there's rarely a coupon. It was basically every business would put like a block ad, you know, and people would sell stuff in little reader ads and, you know, whatever. It was just it's a big classified book.
Well, the reason we subscribed to, I wanted the town news, which you used to get at least some, and she wanted the coupons.
Incoming.
No, I was just looking at now I'm wondering, like Lori Sorter just sent me a text, and she always gives me good information, always. The other day, I had said that there was a rumor, and I said very clearly it was a rumor. And I forget, we had somebody in here. We were talking about that. Oh, I even asked Tina too, and about the old senior center being used possibly for the resident state trooper's office. I heard that. Yeah. And it was silly. It was a silly rumor, but it was something that it was worth at least mentioning to see if anybody knew anything. Everybody's like, no, not at all. No. So, and that's where it died. So, but anyway,
you know, that possibly could possibly be some pluses to that. Really, you'd have the younger children exposed to the police, which would probably be very beneficial.
I don't know. Maybe it's a space issue.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think it was even offered to anybody. I know where it's going.
It was a rumor that I had heard.
I know where it's going, but I don't think it was offered.
And that was all that was. Kevin Cunningham says this is when is Hillfest coming back to Plainfield. Well, it's been kind of. You know what? I got to be honest, Kevin. I had been thinking about it again.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, everything kind of got set aside. You know, with COVID.
I know those outside events were horrible for COVID. So
the problem with doing an event like that is it's just too expensive. It's just, and you know what? I mean, the first year I did it, I got some really good deals on bands. You know, they were like, okay, we'll charge you this because we're only going to be set up for an hour. We already have sound hook. All we got to do is plug and play and leave. So, but then you got to pay the sound guy. You know, that was close to $1,000, you know, for the day. And then, you know, you're paying depending on the band. So and that was all good. But the problem is if you get a day that it rains, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because there's no makeup day. The bands aren't going to just come back.
Right.
Like in Plainfield, it rained.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a Dunkin' machine. We had a lot of vendors, and it was set up cool. We had little bands playing in the gazebo in Plainfield. When somebody wasn't playing on the main stage. We had a Pearl Jam tribute band out of Hartford. It was fun, but it rained.
Wow.
So what are you gonna do? So there really wasn't much you could do about that, and that was a rough day because you don't getting refunds from. It was the Battle of the Bands we did.
Oh wow.
And Chris Goodenough from the now not available Platinum Gear Productions. They were going to go ahead and produce a music video for the winning band. So, but anyway, I digress.
We all do that.
Kevin says, you got a lot of time this morning. I see Kevin. Rumor, Mike is buying the donuts the next time I visit the station.
I heard that.
That is not a rumor. That is true. Victoria says, Kevin Cunningham, that's only if Plainfield signs up with SNSN. God, I love you, Victoria. I swear to God. Oh, Jesus. All right, so we've been goofing off. Let's talk about the serious stuff now. We'll be talking about cannabis and the sale of it and the referendum question.
Yes.
And Court Kinney is right.
I'm glad he's
yes
on
means no.
Yeah.
Which is true.
He should come in.
I have said that. He's
not far away. So.
I'll bring him. I'll give him donuts.
He's up early.
I think we should have a show called Court's Court. He won't listen to me.
Hey, he's busy during the day, so you're going to have to do
he's
it
a busy
after
man.
He's
Night court.
Hey.
Oh.
In fact, he's outfitting his tractors with lights now.
Court, are you hearing us?
In fact, he's got solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
he's running solar panels on his tractors, so he can work all night.
Scott says, I love Hillfest, relaxing on the lawn, listening to great music with a cold beer. Would love to see it back.
Just joshing with your court if you're listening.
Oh, I'm sure he knows. But night court, what? That's a
That'd be
perfect
pretty
fit.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, so, like a true attention deficit disorder person, I just kind of float off to the other side. So the question, and like I said, yes means no, really on this. So the question, I'm going to read it to you as it is going to read on the referendum.
Yep.
And this is the verbiage that is being used. Where is it? Okay. The verbiage is this, and it's question number 1. It's actually before the budget questions.
Really?
Yep. The budget questions would be questions 2 and 3. The question is, question 1, should the town of Griswold and the borough of Jewett City, through the Planning and Zoning Commission, prohibit recreational marijuana businesses within the town of Griswold and the borough of Jewett City? So far on our non-scientific, non-Quinnipiac poll, there's only been 70 votes. Check that, 60 votes.
Probably more than you.
But I don't know any information. 43 votes for no, do not restrict, or do not prohibit.
Right.
And 17 to prohibit.
Okay.
So 43 to 17, meaning, let her rip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I do these is every time I've done one of these little polls or whatever, you don't, when you look at the ratio, of, one vote to another, it's usually how it comes out.
Yeah.
It's usually how it comes out in the end. So.
Well, I guess people that are reading the question, they either feel strongly about it one way or another. So I suppose it does give you a reasonably good snapshot of what might be the end result.
Sure.
What are the two questions on the budget there? Do you have those up in front of you?
Oh, the other no. It's just will you approve
do you want
the
the
town
board-
budget and will you
Okay,
approve the
standard, yeah,
Board
yeah.
of Ed?
yeah.
The Board of Ed, one of them too on there?
You know, it's two budgets.
Town and
yeah.
Board of Ed, right?
Town and
Yeah.
Board of Ed, right? So, but that is the big one right there. The referendum is actually June 7th, where you can vote on the budget. But there's a meeting tomorrow night.
Was kind of
Is that the town meeting to send it to referendum? Okay.
And here's the notice. The notice reads this way. Notice and warning is hereby given that pursuant to section 7-344 of the Connecticut General Statute, the town of Griswold annual budget public hearing will commence on Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. at the Griswold Middle School, 267 Slater Avenue, Griswold, Connecticut, 06351. And just the simple fact that Jim Barney, probably the most informed man in town, has to look at his flipping calendar.
I just want to make sure I got it in my calendar, okay? Because
just the fact that you don't remember if you have the budget meeting in your calendar.
I had too many finance board meetings in my calendar recently, Mike, to keep track of them all. But I got to apologize. I got to run again.
You got to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
See you later.
enjoy, man.
All right. So then there were two. You know, if Kevin Cunningham was here, then it'd be a different story. But he's not. So we had Dana Bennett yesterday, Kevin. You know. So what do you think? I mean, what is your opinion on? I shouldn't ask you that because that's not fair. Let's talk about the cannabis licenses. Okay. There are, and I found this out really through the help of Jennifer Gauthier, who is the registrar of voters here in Griswold. And she said, do you know, she goes, I want to know really what the definition of like cannabis sales is and what does it mean? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, there's like 14 different licenses.
Yeah. Correct.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there are like 14 different licenses when it comes to cannabis, and that kind of stuff. So I guess the question is, Rich, why don't you tell us about this information that you got here? It's got a whole binder because Rich is also on P&Z.
I'm an alternate. Well, pretty much what we decided with planning and zoning was in court. Feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong on anything because he's more experienced in zoning than I am. But we decided to send it out to the voters to see if it's even worth establishing any regulations under planning and zoning for cannabis sales in Griswold.
What do you mean?
Because
so this is different than the referendum question.
No, that's what the referendum question is for.
That's what the referendum question is all about.
That's exactly what it was for. We established the question for the referendum because we didn't want to spend all this time creating regulations for no reason. If the people in town vote to allow and not prohibit, because I guess I was told to explain what prohibit means. It means that you're not allowing it.
Pretty much,
yeah. And so if you're allowing it as a voter, because this is where the people can come out and voice their opinion now, this is your chance. Anything after that, there's no crying. You have to voice your opinion if you want it. So if you say yes, you want it, then planning and zoning will go forward and create the regulations for planning and zoning to establish how it's going to be sold in the town of Griswold.
So let's say you don't want it.
Then
let's just say,
I guess, ordinance or regulations created saying they will not be in the town of Griswold.
Okay.
And then it'll be in other towns.
That's exactly what I was going to go. So like people in Northeastern Connecticut now, they just go to Dudley and Webster.
Yeah.
Because it's legal. They sell it there.
Yeah.
So who's to say, now I'm just using this as an example, but who's to say that Griswold, let's say they vote to prohibit cannabis sales, right? Let's say that they're going, we're going to sell it in Lisbon because they sell everything else in Lisbon. Right over where, right over the bridge.
Yeah.
There's a place there. So what happens? People just go over the bridge.
Yeah, they come over, buy it over there, and bring it back.
It's still legal to have. It's just can't sell it here. So
correct.
So it just comes down to people are going to get it,
and there's
if they smoke it, they're going to get it,
and
you're not going to stop that.
3% tax on it for a while
from the retailer to the town,
the end user, right?
Okay.
The end sale distributor, not the people that grow it.
Right.
So if you have a huge farm that grows it, they do not get taxed with that 3% tax.
Okay. But the retailer does.
The end retailer, right? There's different types of retailers as well. So
right,
medication,
dispensary type,
right.
Retail, recreational.
Right, recreational can be taxed and on the 3%. The medication distributor cannot be taxed on it like that. The other thing is people need to understand is if it's brought into town, which most likely it would have to be downtown. I think we established, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. For a while, the town can establish a extra tax on the distributor or the end sale user to provide extra services such as police outside or whatever services are required to assist in the establishment of that sale.
Yeah.
So they'll get more money that way as well. But it depends on what that 3% also is also earmarked for certain aspects of what it can be used for as well. So it's not just it goes into a general fund. It's earmarked for specific purposes. So
okay, look at this. They didn't take it down. Oh, here it is. There's the link. Okay, so state of Connecticut, here's their, because like Jennifer, and this is how the conversation started between her and I. Was like, what are they looking to either have or prohibit? Because she says, she goes, did you know there's 14 different licenses?
Right.
So here are the different licenses. I'm just going to go through them real quick. So just give you an idea that it's not just, we're going to sell it at Fred's pot store.
Right. I think just some of those licenses are just like an employee. They're not for.
No, there are growing licenses.
That's one.
A cultivator.
That's
A
one.
micro cultivator and a producer who grows cannabis for medicinal use.
Right.
Then there are manufacturing licenses, which is product manufacturer, food and beverage manufacturer, which would be edibles, yeah, and product packager.
Right.
Okay. Those are labels and packages in compliance with state statutes. Then there are sales licenses.
Right.
Retailer, hybrid retailer. A hybrid retailer sells cannabis to consumers for adult use to qualifying patients and caregivers for medical use. Dispensary facility. We all know what a dispensary is, I believe. Then there's the delivery and transportation. There's a delivery service where you can deliver cannabis from qualifying patients and caregivers as applicable. And a transporter. Drivers cannabis they deliver cannabis between cannabis establishments, labs, and research programs, kind of like a runner. And then there's just a few more individual licenses and registrations. Backer has a direct or indirect financial impact, meaning,
and you can only have that.
A lot of businesses have financial backers.
You can only do that when you apply for the license.
Right. Key employee. Employees with specific managerial positions or an equivalent title within a cannabis establishment. Right. So the manager, the key employee, has to have a license. Much like in the food industry, I would think kind of the same thing would be like you have to have
what do you call that?
Permittee, or even have ServSafe, certification. Yeah. So, or employee, any person employed by a cannabis establishment or who otherwise has access to such establishment and board members of a company with an ownership interest in a cannabis.
And a lot of this is based on high security you're going to have for those establishments.
Exactly. So the way you got to look at it too is it even going to be economically feasible for somebody to come in and do that? No, not a mom and pop. These organizations, if anybody opens up a cannabis store, it's going to be somebody that has probably done this before and has a little bit of cash behind them.
Yeah. Let's look at how the statutes were written.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like anything else, follow the money. It's
right. And Scott just said it's like a liquor license.
Yeah. However, if you look at the cost for a lot of this,
Scott says it makes so much sense. That's why this town will vote it down. I don't think they'll vote it down, Scott, to be honest with you. Laura says, wouldn't there be concerns as to how closely it would be located to the school zones?
Well, that's exactly what planning and zoning is looking at.
Okay. Well, how about close liquor stores? What's the difference?
Well, if you look at the actual statutes, a lot of it is being written into being the same as a lot of the liquor statutes and all that is written. The statute specifically for this cannabis is saying they're basically following the same statutes as liquor and everything else. So.
Yeah. So to answer that, Scott answers Laura's question and says, of course, but it's legal just like tobacco and alcohol, so it's not an issue. And just like a liquor license. And Victoria makes a very valid point here, and this is true. These are not going to be mom and pop shops.
No, and if you can tell just by the way the statutes are written.
Right. And so you don't have to worry about, some guy go, hey, Bill and Ted's pot shop, You don't have the issue of like they're going to go ahead and open up their store.
Well,
hey, Bill.
The statutes actually even say in there they're set in for what they consider those that were being disenfranchised. It's basically written around racial discrimination and everything else too. A lot of the statutes. That's what it's black and white right in the statute that it says that. Okay. So they're designed the inner cities and stuff. They want to help a lot of those, according to the statutes, establish these stores. That way they have some kind of economic boom. Yeah. That way as well. That's what a lot of that's written as. But if you delve deeper into it, though, even some people with a lot of money won't be able to afford. That was interesting.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't going nuts. There was actually a bird there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. A lot of these statutes are written in a way that's when you get into the larger farming and cultivating and the larger dispensaries, there's no way some of those people are going to be able to afford the security aspects of a lot of this.
Right.
So it's basically the statutes are written for people they knew were going to be able already to afford to do this. That's my opinion. That's what I see it as. But the way Griswold's, again, planning and zoning is approaching it, and court, jump in here if you want. I don't know if he's farming right now, but
he may be. He's in and out.
There's a lot of work that's going to have to go into developing the regulations. Right. And it's not going to be an overnight thing.
Not everybody can open up a McDonald's.
Right. And
it's millions.
Just some of the concerns that someone brought up there with locations near the schools and stuff. That's something that was talked about probably for an hour in one meeting. So it's not something that's being looked at lightly if it gets voted in.
These are big corporations behind all of this. The other people that will be involved will be people who were previously incarcerated.
That's exactly
for pot charges.
It says it right in here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it says in the regulations.
So,
and a lot of these regulations, if anybody wants to look at them, it was under Senate Bill number 1201.
Okay.
So,
well,
and again, the only thing that we were seriously looking at allowing in the town, because you do get the tax money from it, should they approve it, is the end retail seller, which they can be taxed and would bring in more revenue if that's what people want.
So basically the bottom line is, do we want the money? Does the town want the money? Or do you just say, and let it go to some other town that's probably less than half a mile away?
We can only have one in the whole town of Griswold.
Right.
So,
because you can only have one per 25,000 people.
Yep.
So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I don't know. What do you?
I
think it's like any other.
I can't have an opinion right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I really shouldn't, because I don't like to use SNSN is my own soapbox, even though sometimes I do rant, but this is,
Yeah, I can only provide the facts as they're presented here. That's all I can.
Oh, who the hell am I kidding? Don't vote this down. It's silly. If you vote it down, it's just going to go over the bridge. And guess what? People are going to go over the bridge. And they're going to buy it there. And then they're going to bring it back. Whether you like it or you don't.
And I know it's been brought up because I've been asked about it, is the smoking laws still apply just like any marijuana applies, just like the cigarette smoking.
Yes.
So you can't smoke same anywhere else as cigarettes.
Exactly.
So
to switch subjects real quick, John wants to know, are we broadcasting the Grizzled baseball game today at Killingly? The answer to that is emphatically yes.
If your arm holds up.
Huh? Oh, I know. It's awful. So, John, yes, the game will be on. It's Grizzled versus Killingly, 3:45, live from Owendale Park, beautiful downtown Dayville. All I know is I'm going to Taco Bell.
Well, here's another municipal obligations related to the package of Public Act 21-1. It's an act concerning responsible and equitable regulations of adult use cannabis. So if they want to look at that, that's another resource they can look at.
Gotcha. Daryl says people get most of their stuff from under the bridge anyway. So why don't just go over the bridge? Shayna, who's a big stoner, bought I'm sorry, Shayna. I don't know that to be true or not. So bottom line is when the government runs your, I can't see the emoji there. Oh, it's the shit emoji. Skyrocketing prices in CBD gets pushed to the back. And John says, thank you. That's because we're doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you are welcome, John. John, you live out in the Great Lakes region? Am I correct in saying that?
They sell out there? Wow.
No, it doesn't. Well, I don't know, but I mean,
sure they do.
now, John's son Tim is one of the coaches of the Grizzle High School baseball team.
Oh, okay.
So
that's the one we had in here one time.
Yeah. We had with John,
Tim, right?
and Billy.
Yeah,
Billy. They've been in here a few times. All right. So we've kind of. I mean, there's a lot more that we can talk about.
We could talk for 5 hours on this. It's
exactly.
But I'll give you the resources. That's make you up your own mind. That's a.
There are already resources posted on SNSN News. There'll be more posted today. I don't know.
It's all right out there. It's black and white right out there.
So where are we going with all this? Where are we going? We're going, and this is not anything because, honestly, to the end user, to anybody that scrolls onto our show, reads our stuff, it's absolutely free. We have supporters and sponsors, which we appreciate more than you'll ever know, because those folks are the ones that actually go ahead and allow us to be on the air, and I don't have to go to work at like Verizon anymore because that place sucks.
They're not a sponsor, right?
No, screw them. So, who I'm really pissed off. That's not that is Atlantic Broadband.
Really?
This is like tailor made for them.
Really?
Yeah, Breeze Line. Yeah, no. Yes.
Well, they just changed hands, right?
I've been using them for 7 years here. So anyway, thanks for your support, Breeze Line. But anyway, the stuff is all free to you. If you don't pay attention to it and you say, "Oh, nobody put it out," that's your own damn fault. And I'm sorry to say that and be as brash like that, but I don't pull punches, at all. And I'm not trying to be crappy to you or anybody else, but the fact is the information is there. If you just sit there and do this all day, scroll, folks, I'm sorry, you're going to be terribly uninformed. And then these are the same folks that are going to say, "I didn't know about it." Information is there. We want you to have that information. We want to make sure that you get it. We put it out there. The town does as well. You just have to know where to get it.
This referendum is going to largely affect Griswold in the future. So.
Yes. Stop just scrolling. And if you're using Facebook, and I'm talking about businesses too, if you are using Facebook as your thing, I have, you know how many times I have seen businesses shut down because they'll say, "Yep, no, I'm not going to use you. No, I'm going to put it up on Facebook." And I know it sounds like I'm mocking, but I'm mocking. I can't tell you how many businesses have closed because, well, Facebook is free. Okay. How'd that work out? Yeah, I am talking about the people on Griswold now that sit there and have lost their freaking mind of what social media is really all about.
Mm-hmm.
If you want news, you got to go to the places that give you news. Griswold Now is about listening to somebody say, "Hey, there's a guy with a weird cap." Oh, I got to tell you, by the way, the other day, there was somebody that pulled up in a brown truck.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And they put a package on my front step.
Really?
I have no idea. Never seen this person. Don't know who they are. But they got in this brown truck. They were wearing all brown, too. So it was weird. I didn't know if it was some cult or, and dropping propaganda on my porch or whatever. Uh-oh, your phone's going to be flippy. See? You got it. You know what? You got a delivery too.
Yeah.
So if anybody sees that brown truck with the guy in the brown,
it's weird.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Do not approach. Lock your doors.
I saw a funny post that Kathy found the other day because I won't scroll, but it was someone posted this weird suspicious truck on my street. And they took a picture of it, and it was a postal truck stopping at every house. For a suspicious truck stopping at every house.
Yeah, and it's just amazing that the UPS has brown trucks.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff you get.
It is, and that's why, honestly, I lose my mind if I start doing that.
And and this has nothing to do with people that run Griswold now, like Carl. He busts his butt, and try to keep that place somewhat sane.
It's impossible, though.
It is impossible, and I think he does the best job that anybody could possibly do with that page. So anyway, I hate to say it, but I've really come to this summation: is people don't want information.
No, they don't. They want stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sells.
Yeah,
hateful, whining, weird. That's what all the algorithms are based around.
If you have nothing but tuna salad in your fridge and you want a burger, what are you doing? You're either going to go get a burger or you're going to order one delivered.
Mm-hmm. I watched this documentary that was done specifically around that fact. And the people they had on there were post CEOs, COOs, and stuff of. One was a developer of Facebook. One was a developer of, I want to say, Instagram or Snapchat or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all saying that what they got out of it because the algorithms started being based around developing hate and being stuff like that. And it's a fact. That's what people are buying into. It's human nature, unfortunately.
Victoria says, I'm waiting on the delivery of a new wheelbarrow. Send that brown truck right over here. I don't know. The guy was weird. He waved to me.
Really?
I'm like, oh, I don't know you. Actually, I do. And I'm sorry if I sound really harsh this morning, but it just kind of gets my goat. When for 7 years you hear the same thing over and over again. There's no information, which is bullshit because there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It's just not going to come up in your newsfeed as you want it. You have to actually go to a place that has it. And even if you don't want to get it from SNSN, this is not a plug for us. Go somewhere that that you feel confident in. You know what I mean? To whatever you think is great. Griswold Now is not that place, but too many people say, "Oh, Facebook."
Yeah, unfortunately,
yeah.
And I don't even consider it a news source.
You should use if you're going to use Facebook for stuff like that, you should use it as a supplement.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a place where you can debate.
You can debate
properly.
it. Yeah.
You know,
that's the other problem though.
Well,
I stopped looking at it because you get people that they don't want to debate or with facts. They want to just say
you're wrong,
harsh, cruel. I hate you. You're, I don't know, white supremacist or white propagandist, and it becomes a hateful.
Yeah. Anyway, I just got a text.
First hate mail?
No, it was that brown truck texting me. Said, "Don't go outside." No, it was Jim. Said, "Sorry about the abrupt leaving." He had an appointment. That's okay, dude. That's okay. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to?
No, I mean that was. Like I said, we could spend 5 hours going over this. It's not a quick thing. It's but I wanted to get that info out there. This basic stuff. If you want the full facts, look up the acts and statutes, and there's tons of information in here. And the end game for the planning and zoning was to establish whether or not it's worth what road to go down. So it's up to the town now. It's up to the people.
Right. And, Dana Bennett spoke to that yesterday, basically said it is up to the people.
Yeah.
And I've heard this from Dana Bennett, from Todd Babbitt, Kevin Skulczyk, right on down the line. They've all said, and it's true, we don't make the decisions.
No. We merely put the wheels in motion. That's
it. And that is true. So, I mean, it's not fair to hate on people when they're not here, actually the one doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah. That's gold right there. True story. It's gold. You want a voice, stand up and put your voice out there.
I do think that the Board of Selectmen should go to 5.
Yeah, why not?
In my opinion, there is because that way you could possibly, or less of a chance of everybody going party lines.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, that's a totally different rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's all.
But yeah. I think we covered a lot of information today about the budget.
If anybody wants more info, email me. Ask me.
Here's one thing that I have not said, but I did post it on our page. I here at SNSN have reached out to the Board of Finance on more than one occasion. I did not get any response at all about coming on to the show or answering questions or anything like that. I would have loved to have been able to provide that. However, they didn't answer. So take it for what you will. I'm just going to say they didn't answer. I'm not going to say why because I don't know why. But I feel bad that they didn't. I feel bad that they didn't even say, "Hey, Mike, you know what? We just can't make it right now." It was just, and I was surprised, actually.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That is weird.
So anyway, if anything changes, we'll certainly, try to get people on. Sean McKenna comes on all the time. Sean McKenna is probably one of the more transparent people, and we're lucky to have him, on the Board of Education. That's my opinion. As far as, the Board of Finance, if they say, "Oh, we'll come on, after our special meeting on Wednesday." No. And I'm going to say I'm not interested. Maybe closer to the referendum, but it's not doing me favors. It's doing the town. So anyway, a lot of information, about things today. Go back to the beginning. If you're just joining us, we talked about so much today that's valid and relatable. And also review yesterday's visit with First Selectman Dana Bennett. That was on yesterday's show. So
again, if you have any questions, anybody can reach out to me on Facebook or email me wherever. So
if we don't know the answer, which we probably don't, we will send the question to the person that is in the know. So I mean, you and I are both on multiple boards in town. So
we got all the info right here.
Yeah, but anything but the town. We'll get it to the right person.
In general, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and The class Sunday.
What?
The sex trafficking class is on Sunday. Sex trafficking awareness for parents and
That's
kids.
this Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. 4:00, Griswold Fire Department. So
yeah,
it's free. Come and learn. It's all about protecting you and your kids. So
Victoria says, is the public hearing closed on your budget? I don't know what you mean.
No, it's open.
It's open. She goes, if that the Board of Finance can't comment. No, there was a notice put out, which I posted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's open to the public.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a public notice, but it wasn't put out anywhere.
Well, I think it's because she might be bringing that up because one of the past meetings was closed, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or the Board of Ed had a closed meeting and it was highly controversial or something.
Nope, it's open. It is absolutely open. So even Dana Bennett, spoke to the town budget a little bit yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so I find that when I talk to Dana, she's very upfront.
Mm-hmm.
She's very, very upfront. And if she doesn't know the answer, she ain't gonna BS you. I found that she'll say, I'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been a couple of situations where she absolutely hasn't gotten back to me. So
yeah,
that's my personal experience with our first selectman. So anyway, all right. I've bitched a lot today.
Hey.
So anyway, thanks for coming.
Got the word out.
You won't be here Thursday.
No, I can't. Sorry.
So all right. So later on today, Griswold High School baseball on at 3:45. Myself and John Harden will be there live, large and in charge, from Owenville Park in Dayville to bring you the Wolverines versus the Killingly Redmen.
Excellent.
So that is today at 3:45, and then tomorrow, once again, we'll have the lovely Paul Ash. Will be in tomorrow morning.
Burn your freaking house down.
The PSA of the year. Let me tell you something. So anyway, he'll be here tomorrow morning, and we'll tell you later on what the subject du jour is. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks, Rich.
Enjoy.
All right, bye.
Take care.
Hi, this is Lisa Griffin of Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank. Well, some banks offer checking account rewards, and some banks rebate ATM withdrawal fees. At Eastern, we say, why choose? Check out our Kasasa checking accounts and find out how you can get both. For more information, visit bankeasternct.com, call us at 860-889-7381, or stop by any of our branch locations today. Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank with offices in Norwich, Jewett City, and Plainview.